Video today. I'm going to be talking about the two series finales that Will and Grace had. Will and Grace is a unique show in the fact that there were two series finales. One in the original at season 8, which occurred in 2006, and then another one in 2020 at the end of season 11. The two season finales were very different from one another, and in this video, I'm going to talk about what happened in each of those series finales, what I liked and disliked about each of the series finales, and then I'm going to tell you which one I liked more. Given the nature of this video, do not watch it if you have not watched the entire series. I don't want to spoil the ending of either the original or the revival for you, so if you haven't finished watching this series, I would suggest that you go and finish watching the series and then come back and watch this video. In the Series 8 finale, Grace is pregnant with Leo's child, and she has to make the decision of whether she wants to raise the child with Will, which is what he wants, or does she want to see if things will work out again with Leo? Grace's indecisiveness makes Will really mad because he ended his relationship with Vince because Vince wanted, in a sense, to cut Grace out of Will's life, and Vince wanted Will to move in with him, and Vince did not want Grace to tag along. So Will feels as though he's given up part of his life, and he wants Grace to make a sacrifice for him just like he did for her. But Grace has a dream in which Will and her raise her child together, and they both end up miserable, and the child ends up hating them. And then in the dream, Jack is married to Kevin Bacon. Karen is living with Rosario. When Grace wakes up from the dream, she realizes that this is not how she wants her life to be. So she makes the decision that she is going to see where her relationship with Leo goes. Then Will goes to the laundry room, and Leo walks in the door, and he sees Grace pregnant for the first time. And when he realizes that the child she is carrying is his, he wants to work things out with her. There is then a flash forward 2 years, and you see that Will and Grace have lost touch with each other. It's Will's birthday, and Will is living with Vince in his apartment. They have a son named Ben that was born by a surrogate, and Grace is living with Leo in Brooklyn, and she has a daughter named Lila. Leo then suggests to Grace to call Will, but she gets annoyed at him for asking that. Grace then tells Leo how mad she is at Will for abandoning her when she decided she wanted to try to work out the relationship with Leo, and then how Will ignored her calls when she tried to apologize and even missed the birth of her daughter. Karen and Jack then want to get Will and Grace back in the same room together because they have not seen each other for 2 years. So Karen and Jack create a plan to set Will up to meet again, saying that the other has been hospitalized. The plan succeeded, and the two friends did reconcile at Will's apartment later. The two of them are still mad at each other for what happened. Grace is mad at Will, who was not there for her, and Will is mad at the decision that Grace made. Grace said that she is sorry that she hurt Will, but she would be lying if she regretted what happened. Grace then says to Will that she does not think that if he could go back and change things, he would. They say that they're going to find a time to meet up with each other, but that doesn't happen. They find that too much has changed between them, and they once again grow apart from one another. Back to the Karen and Jack story. We find out that Karen's divorce settlement from Stan is worthless, and now her and Jack don't have the money to try to live the life they want. Karen knows that they need money, so she comes up with a plan to have Jack replace Benji, who Beverly had broken up with. So Leslie then offers Jack a lot of money if the two of them can be together, and Karen convinces Jack to do it so that they can have money to do what they want to. Even though Jack does not want to be with Beverly, he knows that Karen has supported him for so many years, and he wants to be able to help her right now. But then Beverly gets blown off the apartment balcony by a big gust of wind, and he had made Jack the sole beneficiary of his will. So now Karen and Jack have a lot of money so that they can live the life that they want to. The episode jumps 20 years ahead, and we see a boy and a red-haired girl move into college dorms across from one another, and it's later revealed that's Ben and Lila, so Will and Grace's children. The two of them sneak out to get coffee while Will arrives for Ben and Grace arrives for Lila. The two friends smile when they see each other again, and the viewer can see that they're both older now. Will and Grace are then seen later talking on the phone with one another about ER, just like they did back in the pilot. Karen and Jack perform a beautiful song titled Unforgettable, which perfectly sums up their relationship with each other. And to be honest, it made me cry while I was watching it. And then they finish with one of their iconic stomach touches. The friends then go to the bar that Will and Grace kissed at in the pilot episode, and they talk about how they haven't changed a bit, and they clink their glasses and drink. The screen then flashes to them as their younger selves. Now to season 11. The season 11 finale was very different from the season 8 finale. The episode starts with Will and Grace's apartment being packed up as a result of them deciding to move to Blythesville, New York to raise their children together. Will is trying to do everything he can to not reminisce about his life and not think about what has happened, but instead look towards his future, having found out that McCoy is back in New York City. Will is trying to think about why McCoy has not reached out. Karen wants closure on her relationship with Stan, having divorced him again in the revival. So she goes to the top of the Statue of Liberty, and then Stan comes in a helicopter. So it is assumed that Karen and Stan are back together again. Jack takes his first bow on a Broadway stage, which had been a dream of him, and Will and Grace are there to support him. One thing that I found very interesting, and Estefan was there too, was that Karen was not there. Karen was there for Jack all through the show, and I found it very weird that she was not at this Broadway performance of his. The show ends with them leaving for the hospital when Grace's baby is coming. Now that we have gone over the 2 series finales, I'm going to talk about what I liked and disliked about each series finale. I feel that the original series finale provided more closure to me. Will and Grace have grown apart, but their children were getting married. I think their children's relationship would have had them grow back closer, but not to where they were. The whole show was based on Will and Grace's relationship with each other. And if there's no relationship between the two of them, there is no show. The thing that I really did not like about the original series was the fact that Will and Grace grew apart. They were there for each other through breakups and other hard times, and did not like seeing them grow apart. For the revival series, I enjoyed the storyline of Will and Grace raising their children together. Back in season 4 and 5, I loved the thought of Will and Grace having a child together, but I knew it wasn't going to happen at that point because that would have been the end to the show, and I knew that there was 3 more seasons than the original, since the Will and Grace relationship is the basis of the show. One thing that I did not like about the revival series finale was the fact that you did not get to see Grace deliver her baby or Will's surrogate Jenny deliver his baby. One of the other things that I didn't fully like about the season 11 finale was it left me with more questions than I had after the original series finale. Some of the questions that I had were, Will and McCoy going to end up together? If they did get back together, was it going to last? And how will Grace and Will raise their children together? In addition, the season 11 finale did not really address where Karen and Jack ended up. I am making the assumption that Jack is going to stay in New York City instead of moving to Blythesville like Will and Grace because of his start on Broadway, and I feel that Karen will stay there as well, and they will continue to have their relationship with each other. Now, for my ranking on which one I like better, I personally think that the season 11 finale was slightly better, and I know that this is a little bit of a controversial opinion because the revival was not ranked as high as the original had been, but I feel as though the season 11 ending was true and more honest towards the characters. Will and Grace had never had a conventional relationship/lifestyle. They were more than roommates, but they weren't romantically involved with each other either. They were in the middle, and they had a unique relationship. I think that raising their children together is not the controversial idea of a family in the United States. A gay man and a straight woman raising their own children together, living in the same house, is not your stereotypical family dynamic, but I think that it is true to how the characters were portrayed through the 11 seasons. Will and Grace never really seemed to care what other people thought of their relationship. Many people thought that they were too close to one another, but they worked perfectly together. Will and Grace have always been there for one another. They have gotten each other through hard times, and I feel that becoming a parent is a hard time, and I'm glad to see that they can go through the challenges, struggles, and joys together. So in conclusion, I feel as though the season 11 finale was better than the original series finale due to the fact that I personally enjoyed the storyline more, even though I was left with more questions than in the original. If you want to share your opinion on the 2 series finales or what you think the characters in the season finale will end up doing afterwards, please comment below. Thank you for watching this video. If you like these videos, please subscribe. I will be putting out more Will and Grace videos in the future, so be on the lookout for those. Thank you. Bye.